Hi there YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Auntie A's Kitchen, simple and delicious food cooked and prepared in South Korea. Today, homemade jam roly-poly and homemade custard. And you may be saying to me, Amanda, what is roly-poly? Well, it's not one of those forward rolls that you do in school. It is a classic British dessert, and it's basically a pudding base with jam rolled up, and it looks very ugly on the outside. It's often known as dead man's arm or dead man's leg, but once you cut into it, you see the spiral and the jam's revealed, it looks wonderful. And we would often serve that with custard, and today I'll show you how to make the best custard when you're in South Korea, and we will accompany the two together, and it is the perfect British dessert. Many people will have had this in school. It was a very popular dessert, jam, roly-poly and custard. It's not served that often these days. It's quite a stodgy pudding, so we wouldn't have it all the time. But to reminisce of my days back in England, today it was delightful. So let me show you the ingredients and let's get cooking. One of the first things you will do is turn on your oven to 180 so that it can preheat. At the bottom of your oven, place a tray and fill it with boiling hot water so that your roly-poly will steam as it cooks. You will need some flour and some jam. Now you can use any flavour that you like, but I particularly like this strawberry jam from E-Mart because it has lots of bits inside. You will need some butter. You won't see my butter on the counter, it is currently in the freezer. I've already grated it up and I will get it out at the last minute. You will also need some vanilla. Now I'm using vanilla powder, but you can use vanilla essence. Essence will have a stronger flavour. Some baking powder, and then the two most important parts of this will be your baking paper and your foil, which you're going to wrap up your jam roly-poly in and allow it to steam as it cooks in the oven. First, we're going to sieve our flour into a bowl, so just like this. Next, I'm going to add in my baking powder and vanilla powder. Mix that in. I'm going to add in my butter. As you can see here, I grated the butter and this is cold from the freezer. I'm going to just mix this in so that it's incorporated with my flour. Then I'm going to add in my milk a little bit at a time and just mix that up until my dough sticks together. So I'm going to flour my board. Place your dough onto your flat surface and flatten with your hands. Then with a rolling pin, roll it into a large rectangle. Make sure you get enough flour underneath. Oops. That's better. Yeah, alright, that's about it. Then I'm going to pour my jam over. And I'm going to spread my jam out. It's really nice having that jam flavour on everything, so I'm going to go as close to the edge as I dare, just like that. Now, an interesting fact here, in England, when kids do gymnastics, they will do a forward roll, and often in England we would teach our kids and say, do a roly-poly. And I used to teach sport back in England, and it used to infuriate me because the proper name was forward roll. So, all of my English friends watching, this is a forward roll. You're moving forward. It's not a roly-poly. Don't teach your kids roly-poly. And as all we do is we roll this up, just like this. And I wrap it in my baking sheet, making sure the ends are completely tied off. Then this goes into my foil, and the same again. I'm going to wrap that like this, and this now goes into the oven for 1 hour. I just got the jam roly-poly out of the oven, and as you can see here, it has expanded during the cooking. Let the oven cool down before you take that boiling water and what's left out of the bottom. Now with this jam roly-poly, I'm going to let it sit for 5 minutes and just cool down before I open it, being careful because there will be steam inside. So while we're waiting, let's get on and prepare our custard. You're going to need some milk and some vanilla powder, or if you have extract, use that. And then we're going to mix together in this bowl a little bit of sugar. You don't need it too sweet because the jam roly-poly will be sweet, some cornstarch, and 3 egg yolks. So into a bowl I have put my egg yolks, my cornstarch, and my sugar. So let's just mix that up like so. Now what you don't want to ever do is just put the cornstarch straight into your custard, because that will make it lumpy. So you always want to make a bit of a paste first, and you'll see I will add milk to this slowly, and that way I will have no lumps. And into here I'm going to add my vanilla powder and my milk, and just stir that up so that the vanilla combines with the milk. Don't use packet custard. It's very simple to make your own custard, and I promise you it's much more delicious. And as you see with this recipe here, you can use as much or as little sugar as you want. So if I'm accompanying this custard with something very sweet like a apple strudel, then I will cut back on the sugar. Another favorite thing that you can serve custard with is bananas. One of my personal favorites is just slice up a banana in a bowl and pour custard over. Bananas and custard, absolutely delicious. It's starting to get warm, so what I'm going to do now is just take a ladle and put it into my other bowl and mix it up.
Once everything is mixed well, place this back with the other ingredients into your pan on the hob. You will notice I pick some of the mixture up into the bowl, making sure that I have all of the remnants from the side. Allow your custard to heat slowly and stir continuously until it thickens.
Now with custard you want to keep stirring and it will eventually get thicker. You can hear by the sound. Let me show you. Just perfect. As I said, custard is a preference. Some people like it thicker. I like it this texture here. If you want a little bit thicker, and if let's say you cook your custard and you think it's too runny, don't just add the cornstarch straight into here because it will go lumpy. Put some of this custard into a bowl like we did before, and mix it in with your cornstarch, and then add that into this mixture. So that's been resting while we made the custard. As I'm opening it, I'm being very careful. See here that the jam roly-poly got bigger. It's expanded. Oh wow. Incredible.
Oh wow. Just as I remember.
When I was in school, I had the nickname of Custard Girl because I would always go up for seconds of custard, and one of my favourite puddings was jam roly-poly and custard. You can tell that the pudding's being steamed. We would use suet, but I couldn't find suet, but butter works just as well. Soft with the custard and the jam. Wow. So, thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed seeing how that we make British jam roly-poly and British custard. I'll put a link in the description of the apple strudel that the custard would go really well with. Thanks for watching today. I look forward to seeing you in another episode. Bye.